Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Parlay. I am your guest host today, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Most of you know me as Fitz. The haters will call me Fitz Tragic, but around these neck of the woods, it's always Fitz Magic, baby. Welcome to the Parlay with Awthentik and The Beard. I will bring in my other co-host for the day. Welcome to the show, sir.
What's up, my man? You know what it is, man. I'm trying to get paid in full. You know what it is, bro. What's good with you, man? Left side.
Strong side. Shout out to
building,
The Beard
man,
for inviting me here today to host the show. The way my hip has been set up, it's allowed me an opportunity to join you today, and I'm super excited about it. We're going to go over
we happy
some
to have
games.
you, brother.
Yes. We're going to do a little bit of fantasy football, a little bit of NFL betting. Don't tell Roger Goodell I said that. But it's going to be a fun, packed show. I'm super excited. Happy Halloween to everybody who is watching us right now on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and of course, the YouTubes. So, how you feeling about Sunday's football today?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. I'm actually looking forward to seeing Taylor Heinicke get some PT today. You know what I'm saying? I don't wish any, harm on anybody's body or anything like that. But I'm looking forward to seeing Taylor Heinicke against those Broncos today.
Interesting. Okay. That being said, let's go ahead and say some hellos to the lovely people in the chat.
Let's get it one
time. Big shout
time.
out to No Mets, No Nets, No Jets. Salute to you, sir. Thank you for joining us today. And Waterfly says happy Halloween and is reminding everybody in the chat to hit those thumbs up. It's going to be a great show today. I can already feel it. Big shout out to Sunday. I heard she always holds it down in the chat for this show, so appreciate that, Sunday. Thank you, as always. And Kyle Key is in the building, says good morning, everyone.
What up, Kyle Key? What up?
Kaylin says, let's go. Both my fantasy teams are killing it. That is good to know. Good to know. Lucas, shout out to Lucas, checking in all the way from Australia. Says,
hey,
what's
what up, Lucas? What up?
Party people. And we got our first message and question of the day. It says, do I start Dalton Schultz or Noah Fant from C-Bands and never stay lacking?
How you feeling about that one, Fitz?
I'm going to go with Noah Fant. I personally love to throw to the tight end, and they are going against my current team, the Washington football team, and we have struggled against the linebacker as far as tight ends coming across that middle. So I expect a big game from Noah Fant, unfortunately. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Noah Fant in this situation.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Noah Fant too, man. Washington football team is the worst pass defense in the NFL right now, man. So look for him to put up some big numbers. I don't mind the matchup, though, with Dalton Schultz going against the Vikings. The Vikings, surprisingly, I think we'll double-check when we get to that game. Actually, the Vikings don't have the number one pass defense, but they do have the number one third down defense in the NFL. So that supports more Noah Fant vibes. So, yeah, start Noah Fant.
For sure. And he says that he loves the fit, Fitzmagic. Well, thank you. I got this from Deshaun Jackson, actually, for those of you that don't know. Yeah, I borrowed it all from Deshaun. So shout out to Deshaun Jackson. Thanks for lending me your bling and this really fly jacket.
Let's get it.
He says, Fitzmagic. Joel is in the building. You came into a Halloween fantasy football NFL betting party fiesta. It's going to be lit. Big shout out to Lax Ofofo. Says, what's up, everyone? Have a fun and safe Halloween. Shout out to James Jones in the building. We also
what up,
got
James?
Leroy Will Jones in the building.
What's up, fam?
Appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And also, if you have any questions regarding your fantasy football lineups or any NFL bets, make sure to drop those in the chat. We will do our best to make sure we get to each and every single one of them. That's because this is Fitzmagic, baby. Tim has the day off. Shout out to the Beard. We appreciate him.
Yeah, shout out to the Beard one time. Couldn't make the show today, man. Left side is definitely in the building. Strong side is away right now with Fitzmagic, man. We got a great guest host today, man. I'm not mad at this.
That we do. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we will jump right into today's action.
Now, real quick before we get into the game, before we get into these games, I got to ask you this, as a guest on the show, Fitzmagic, what is your favorite Halloween candy?
jeez. I got quite the sweet tooth, okay? Listen. I think you got to break this down into categories, all right? So
let's start with chocolate. We're going with
chocolate. I'm a big Reese's peanut butter cup guy. Love me a good Reese's peanut butter cup. You know, I'm not going, you know, deny I like a good Twix every once in a while. Twix does good, you know. But I'm a Reese's peanut butter cup guy.
Yeah, that's been your vibes, man. I'm going to say this is a tough one, man. This is a real tough one. It got to be something with some caramel.
Gotta have a caramel.
Gotta have some caramel, man. I think I'm going to go, I think I'm going to skip the caramel. I think I'm going to go with the Kit Kat. I'm feeling the Kit Kat vibes. People in the chat, let me know how y'all feeling. What's y'all favorite Halloween candy going into the Halloween festivities tonight? Sour Patch Kids, said Perry Mac. He trying to go to the dentist. That's what's up.
I ain't a big sour. I'm not a big sour. Oh, yeah. I love a good $100,000, too. Not a big sour candy guy.
Yeah.
I do like some, you know, tropical Skittles, tropical strawberries.
Tropical Skittles is crack.
Starburst. Eliminate all the yellows. I don't need all the yellows. Give me all the purples, the pinks, the reds. You know, I like all that stuff. So Milky Ways are good too. And we got
Milky Way is a good second option to a good Snickers. Got to keep it funky with you on that one. You know, Three Musketeers is a good option for the Milky Way. It's levels to this. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. There is so many levels to this. And look, you know, a lot of people are going to – Mike and Ike's are super underrated if you ask me.
Yeah, Mike and Ike's are pretty underrated.
Mike and Ike's are underrated.
Look, I was talking with Mike Swan. You just reminded me of this. I was talking to Mike Swan 2 days ago about candy, right? And I'm a big fan of the original Werther's, right? Which is like a very OG candy. He was like, yeah, if I'm hanging out with my grandma.
Yeah, that's the grandma candy. That's the grandma candy.
Got it in her little bowl.
Some Heath bars, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And listen,
okay, now this one has been a controversial one over the internet. What's your thoughts on candy corn?
I was just about to say, I am not for the candy corn slander. I don't understand.
I think candy corn's not bad.
Like, you know, you can grab a handful, throw it on back. You know, like there's nothing wrong.
The problem
with
is when the candy corn is like out the bag. You know how I don't know about nowadays on Halloween, but in my day, you go trick or treating, they just throw you a handful of candy corn in your bag. Like, nah, I don't know where your hands been, fam. Come on.
Yeah, when you dump out your bag, you got pieces of candy corn flying everywhere. Yeah. Now you gotta have it fresh out the bag.
I miss them days, bro. I miss them days. Like, you know, I would have like a pillowcase and then just right on the bed when it was all said and done, man.
I wonder if that's like a nationwide thing, the pillowcase thing.
I'm sure it is. Is.
Because we use pillowcases our entire lives trick-or-treating around here. So
yeah, that's facts.
All right. Man, now you got me a little fiending for some candy. And my nephew's in California, so I don't know where am I going to raid the candy from?
Oh, y'all don't just got candy on deck for the trick-or-treaters out there?
My Dukes might have some candy for the kids.
Yeah, I know my shorty got some candy upstairs. I saw the bowl. She's trying to keep it in a little cup where I can't get to it. But, yeah, I'm definitely going to get to the candy.
And big shout-out to the homie Frank the Tank, because when I was there watching football last week, I saw his candy bowl. I said, Frank, you not playing. You giving out the full-size candy bars.
Oh, he went like with the real deal, huh?
The real deal. No minis, full-size everything. I said, man, you are
Frank's a lunch. Shout out Frank the Tank, man.
Big shout out Frank the Tank. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right into it. The first game on the slate is going to be the Carolina Panthers, who are 3-4. They are headed to Atlanta to face the Falcons, who are 3-3. The Falcons are 3-point favorites. The over-under in this game is 46.5. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Listen, Sam Darnold, speaking of Halloween, Sam Darnold looks like he has been seeing some ghosts as of late.
That's the first note on my paper right now.
I didn't even have that written down.
Yes,
It kind of came to me, you know. I should know a little bit about these teams. I probably played for both of them at some point in time. But, you know, look, Matt Rule sat Sam Darnold down this week and said, you know, you're not that bad. There's some things that you're doing that are good, but there's some things that you're doing now that you weren't doing early in the season. So he showed him some tape of Tom Brady. And to me, I think, this might be the week Sam Darnold comes back. Falcons, pass defense isn't the best, but he's going to need somebody else to step up outside of DJ Moore. Robbie Anderson was supposed to be that guy, and Robbie Anderson, I do not know what is going on with that man.
He's struggling, man.
He has had, this is the craziest thing I saw. His last 2 games, he's got 20 targets, 25 yards.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So you got to figure something out here. And then big shout out to Kyle Pitts. 471 yards receiving in the first 6 games is the most ever by a rookie tight end.
Yeah, he's balling out. He's living up to that what was it, the number 4 pick, I believe?
Yep, number 4 pick. And they said he might be the greatest tight end drafted ever. So we'll see. But if he gets 100 yards today, he'll be the first tight end to ever go over 100 yards in 3 straight games. I'm also looking at my man Chuba to keep the pace going. He's been getting a lot of volume at the running back position. And then Cordero Patterson is just that guy. He is all over the place. What you got in this game, Authentic?
I like Kyle Pitts too. You said a lot of great things about him. Speaking of those 2 back-to-back 100-yard games, he had 163 yards on 7 receptions against the Dolphins last week. Don't forget they were coming off the bye the week before. Week 5 versus the Jets, 9 receptions at tight end for 119 yards and a touchdown. Definitely like Kyle Pitts in this game. You mentioned Cordero Patterson. I like Cordero Patterson every week, man. That dude's definitely a baller. Chuba Hubbard, man, struggled against the Giants, man. 12 carries for 28 yards. So he's looking for a bounce-back game. He really hasn't had a good performance since his breakout Week 5 performance against the Eagles, where he had the 101 yards on 24 carries. He also had the game before the Giants against the Vikings, 1 touchdown. It was a decent game, 16 carries for 61 yards, but we're looking for him to step it up. If Sam Darnold is not going to see ghosts on Halloween today, it's going to be because of Chuba Hubbard. I'll keep it 100. In his last 3 games, Sam Darnold has 2 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. I mean, that's not the guy we saw the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season. He barely cracked 200 yards 1 time in those 3 games. 56% completion percentage against the Eagles in Week 5, 41.5 completion percentage against the Vikings in Week 6. That boy has fell off, man, and all the good talk I was giving him and all the praise I was giving him about how the Washington football team should have scooped him up instead of you. That's not looking really good right now, and you sitting on the bench with the what is it, a hip flexor or something got going on?
It's a hip. It's the hip.
It's a hip. It's doctor said you got a backiotomy. I swear to God, you're getting a little old over there. But so I don't like Sam Darnold in this game. If you're desperate for a quarterback, I think you got to stay away from a guy like Sam Darnold. Matt Ryan might be the other option here, man. He's coming off back-to-back 300-plus yard games. He had 336 versus the Dolphins, 342 versus the Jets. And his completion percentage is way up there, man. 73% against the Jets, 63% against the Dolphins. 2 touchdowns in both games. So Matt Ryan is a sneaky little pick here if you could find him available in some leagues. I'm going to go with the Falcons in this game. I think, and it's crazy because the Panthers have lost 4 straight games, man. So if I'm correct, they're going to lose 5 straight games today. Give me the Falcons in this game. Falcons are favored by 3. I think they'll cover that too, man. I don't see where the Panthers are really going to get a lot of offensive output outside of DJ Moore.
Yeah, DJ Moore has double-digit targets in, I believe, 5 or 6 of the 7 games so far this year. So he's definitely the guy. The Panthers haven't covered in 4 straight games. I also think that trend will continue today. I'm going to take the Falcons -3. I do think we get over the 46.5. I believe that Sam Darnold actually comes out and has a pretty decent game today. But I think that in the end, the Falcons' weapons are just going to be proved to be too much for the Carolina Panthers. Kyle Pitts, Calvin Ridley, Cordero Patterson. There's just a lot going on there. So I think this might be somewhat of a semi-boat race. It might be like a paddle boat race, but it'll be somewhat of a boat race.
Yeah, I think we'll get there to the over as well too. I didn't give you a pick on that, but I think we'll get there, and I think the Falcons might get around 30. So I'm looking for Panthers to probably score 2 touchdowns, one of them in garbage time a little bit late. And, we'll get there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, up next is a battle of 2 premier running backs. The Tennessee Titans, who have won 5 straight now, are 5-2. They are heading to Indianapolis to play the Colts, who are 3-4, who have actually been playing a lot better football as of late. The Colts are actually the favorite here. They are favored by 3 points. The over-under is 50.5 points. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Authentic, tell me what you got.
I mean, I wish my team had a running back like Derrick Henry, man. He's got 4 straight 100-yard games against the Colts with 4 touchdowns in his last 4. He rushed for 113 yards in the first matchup versus the Colts earlier this year. I'm looking for him to have another big day. It's surprising to me that the Colts are favored in this game, but I think Michael Pittman is definitely a reason. 508 yards on the year, 2 touchdowns in his past 5 games without T.Y. Hilton. Dude is definitely balling out. He's caught 30 of his 43 targets for 444 yards. 11 points per game as far as PPR leagues go. So I really like him as far as kind of like you seeing him fall into his role later on in the season because he did have a slow start. The Colts get Quentin Nelson back in the lineup too. I think that's definitely going to help the running game. You already know we got the running back on our fantasy team, but I don't like the Colts favorite in this game. I think the Titans are hot right now. I think the Titans are going to come in here and get the upset. As far as the over-under being 50, I'm going to take the under in this one, man. I think the Colts aren't going to score a lot of points in this game. I think the Titans are going to handle them pretty easily in this game too. It'll be a double-digit win for them.
It's going to be an interesting game because, you know, both of these offenses feature their running back so much. And you talked about Derrick Henry and how he's performed against the Indianapolis Colts in his last 4 games. He also has 542 yards in those 4 games. The Colts are dead last in pressuring the quarterback. Now, what I'm going to see here today is I'm going to see Tannehill have a good game. I think they're going to, pound Derrick Henry, and they're going to open things up for that play action and pass, which I think, you'll see some A.J. Brown have a big game. Also, no Julio Jones in this game, I believe. Jonathan Taylor is on a mission. Last 4 games, 100-plus yards from scrimmage each of those 4 games. So I expect a big game also from Jonathan Taylor. I think this game will be close. I also don't believe that the Colts should be favored by 3. I mean, there's something that Vegas is seeing that we're not seeing. I'm gonna take the Titans plus the 3. That over 50.5 does seem a little high with the pace of play and the running game going back and forth, but
yeah.
I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under 50.5 in this one for sure.
Like you said, Vegas might know something we don't know. So I'm going to really keep my eyes on this game because if this one hits the over, it's really going to surprise me. And if the Colts win, I think it'll really surprise me too, man. I mean, like Carson Wentz isn't playing outstanding football right now. They definitely rely on the running game. But if we had to choose a running game out of the 2, I don't understand why it's not the Titans.
Yeah, and the Colts have been playing better. Carson Wentz has looked, more serviceable than he did earlier in this season.
For sure.
I don't want to necessarily say he's playing great, or living up to his, contract in the trade and everything like that. But the team is moving in the right direction. I just don't see how the Titans, fall after beating the Bills and the Chiefs in back-to-back weeks. And then but they did lose to the Jets earlier this year.
Yeah, was that first game of the year? I think it was early.
No, not first game of the year, but I think it was right before they beat the
on that
Chiefs
run.
and the Bills.
Yeah. Shout out to Nate Talks Football one time in the building. He said, "Yo, the look is astounding." He said, "I just opted to the chat. No context, and I'm astounded." Shout out, Nate. And Waterfly was asking about the Canada Dry. I got the Canada Dry, and shout out to the lady with the glass. Let me see if I can get that to focus. Boom, Skulls in the building one time. Skull. Happy Halloween to everybody out there one time. Make sure you get your good candy fix today. Make sure you got some candy for the people that's trick-or-treating, too. Don't be out here putting a note on the door or an empty bowl on the front porch like some people I know. By some people, I mean me. It's like, nah.
Some places they have like the contactless candy, so it's like, you come to the door and it's like they drop it down like a PVC pipe right into the bag. So it's kind of like, you might only get one. You can't really get that little swindle handful. You got to put your mouth up to the bottom of the PVC and be like, hey,
that's terrible. Candy. And then for some candy corn coming from a bare hand, oh, my God. Recipe for disaster.
Oh, man. All right. Next game on the slate is going to be the Miami Dolphins, who are an disappointing 1-6. They are headed to Buffalo. Buffalo is 4-2, coming off of a bye week. The Bills are favored by a whopping 14.5 points. The over-under is 48.5. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern.
Let me get this one first. I want to just keep it real simple on this.
You take it first because, like I said, I know these teams pretty well. I played for both of them at some point.
I'm sure you got a lot of nuggets.
What you got for me, Awthentik?
Okay, right off the bat, you got to sit to it today. There's just no way, okay? Buffalo's defense is number one against the pass right now. They're only allowing 180 yards per game through the air. The fifth best third down defense in the league. They're only allowing teams to convert 33% of the time. And Buffalo, this statistic surprised me so much. Buffalo is sixth in the NFL right now in rushing. That is ridiculous right now. 130 yards per game coming out of that Buffalo backfield, and we know the quarterback adds a little bit to that. So for me, I think you could go with either running back today in Buffalo. You got Zach Moss over there, who's definitely doing some damage. Josh Allen, you know what it is from the quarterback position. I'm taking the Bills in this game. This is the second meeting, I believe, of these two teams where the Bills blew the socks off the Dolphins. Blew them out the water for a better term. And I'm definitely taking the Bills to cover the 2 touchdowns. I think this one will be another blowout for real. Might be worse than the first one.
Oh, man. It's tough. It's tough sledding right now for Tua in Miami. And you know what? To be perfectly honest with you, Tua hasn't played, he hasn't played poorly necessarily. He just hasn't had, I don't know what's wrong with the Dolphins defense. The Dolphins defense was supposed to be one of these great defenses like the Giants and the Washington football team, specifically in their secondary. They got 2 of the top tier corners in the league, but they haven't been able to stop anybody. They are second worst in the league in yards allowed. It's 297.1. It's insane. Josh Allen's going to have a field day today. Stephon Diggs has 8+ targets in every game this year except for one game. So I'm looking for a big game from Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Don't forget about Emmanuel Sanders, Cole Beasley.
Definitely.
One of those 2 guys is going to be the sleepy second guy. Josh Allen is one of the only, running quarterbacks in the National Football League that's playing today outside of Jalen Hurts. Everybody else playing is pretty much more traditional pocket passers. So in DraftKings and FanDuel, you're always looking for those quarterbacks who are going to give you a little bit of extra push as far as rushing. Josh Allen is one of those quarterbacks. I think this game's probably going to be heavily played on the Bills' side in DraftKings and FanDuel today. That 14.5 is super sketchy, but the Bills seem to be covering these crazy spreads. Last time I
you remember the Bills, 2 spreads from last week, bro. We were like, man, them spreads look real crazy, man, but definitely covered those.
So I'm going to take the Bills in this game. 14.5. It's in Buffalo. Yeah, I'm going to take the Bills minus a 14.5. I'm going to take the over, though, 48.5. I do like Jalen Waddle and Mike Gesicki in this game. Mike Gesicki is basically a wide receiver 2 at this point in Miami. Yeah. So I like Gesicki and I like Waddle in this game. And like I said, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs stacked. It's going to be a little bit difficult. They're both kind of pricey, but if you can find a way to stack those guys in your DraftKings and FanDuel lineups and then get a little crazy with the rest of your players, you might be able to put together a winning lineup. All right.
And you said you taking the over?
Yeah, I'm going to take the over 48.5. I think the Dolphins do put up some points.
Yeah, that 48.5 is sketchy because I think it could be like 31-14-ish.
Yeah, so I mean, it could be right around that line, But if the Dolphins can find a way to, get some points early, and then in the end of the game, then I feel like we can get to that 48.5 total for sure.
Yeah.
Next game on the slate is one of the most exciting teams in the National Football League facing off against one of the most unexciting teams in the National Football League. It is the Cincinnati Bengals, who are a surprising 5-2, and I believe the number 1 seed currently in the AFC right now. They are 10.5-point favorites at the New York Jets, who are 1-5. The over-under in this game is 43.5. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Bengals defense is the play today. I mean, the New York Jets have been pretty bad as is. And now your starting quarterback is a guy I know everybody. I've been around the league. I've been around, I know most of the players. I have never heard of Mike White.
Yeah.
But Mike White will be the starting quarterback for the New York Jets today. So I'm expecting the Bengals, whose defense has been super underrated and has been playing lights out as of late, especially at the linebacker position. And then Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, the tight end, Usama. It's Joe Mixon. I mean, they've put together a pretty good offense. I like Joe Mixon in this game a lot because I think they're going to get up early. Joe Burrow might throw three touchdowns before halftime, and then you'll get some Joe Mixon. So I love the Bengals in this game. I love the Bengals. I want to know the last time the Bengals were favored by 10.5 points.
I know, right? Maybe like Ocho Cinco days.
Yeah, it has to be a long time. But I like the Bengals in this game. I like them to cover the 10.5, and I also do like the over 43.5. I mean, the Bengals might put up 35, 40 points by themselves. So I do like that for sure. Big shout out to Nick the Wick for the $1.99 super chat. It says Gibson versus Denver or D Booker versus Kansas City. I'm 1-6. You want to go first on this one?
I'm going Gibson versus Denver. Booker hasn't proven he could really put together a consistent game all year. Coming off his best game last week, though, but I'd still wait for a little bit more proof in the pudding before I start messing with Booker. In my starting lineup, I'm going Gibson, even with the shin issues.
Yeah, I think you pretty much said it the way that it needed to be said. I'm going to go with my teammate, Antonio Gibson, versus the Denver Broncos. I mean, that Kansas City defense is bad, but I just think that game's going to have to be a back and forth between Jones and Mahomes. Bars.
Jones and Mahomes.
I'm gonna go with Gibson on that one. Appreciated $1.99 super chat, Nick the
Yeah, appreciate
Wick.
that, Nick. Nick the Wick in the building. NTW, let's get it. I like Jamar Chase in this game, man, having a monster season, man. He basically has 4 100-yard games. One of them was 97 yards. Coming off his best performance of the year against the Ravens in a big game, 8 receptions. He had 201 yards and a touchdown. He has a touchdown in all but 2 games, and I thought this was interesting. The 2 games that he doesn't have a touchdown in are against the worst teams pretty much in the NFL, the Jaguars and the Lions. So I think that today the Bengals might not show out against the Jets like everybody thinks. I think the line is a little bit too high here with the 10.5. I still think they'll cover, though, but I do think that's a little high, a little risky. You mentioned the other wide receivers for the Bengals here. I think that T. Higgins is a guy you might want to sit today. He's coming off 3 straight games without a touchdown. He had a decent game against the Ravens last week. We know Jamar Chase was taking most of the targets. He had 7 catches for 62 yards. But 2 previous games before that, the Lions, he had 3 catches. The Packers, he had 5, no touchdowns, under 45 yards in both games. I'd watch out for starting him in this game. But, yeah, give me the Bengals. And I'm going to take I almost said I'm going to take the under, and I'm a little hesitant. It'll probably be around 20. I'm going to take the under. It's probably going to be 24-7, 24-10. So I'm going to take the under.
Taking the under. Bold move. Big shout out to Lax044 for the $4.99 super chat. Says Elijah Mitchell, Damian Harris, or Jarvis Landry. I can flex one. Ooh, that's tough.
I like Damian Harris.
I like Damian Harris too. I mean, the defense that they're going up against in the Los Angeles Chargers is the absolute worst rush defense in the National Football League. So and Bill Belichick loves to run the ball. As long as they can keep that game, and he can catch the ball too out of the backfield. As long as they can keep that game close, I think Damian Harris has a big game. I like Elijah Mitchell too. I'm a little bit down on Jarvis Landry just because Baker's coming back from the shoulder injury. And I think that game is going to be a slugfest. So I'm going to go with Damian Harris also.
Yeah, and don't forget last time the Patriots played the Chargers, they blew them out. It was 45-0.
Yeah, that was last year. That's back to that Belichick rookie quarterback situation with Justin Herbert, in one of his few bad games last year. But it'll be an interesting game for sure.
Yeah,
speaking of
back.
Jarvis Landry, the next game on the slate is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are 3-3. They are headed to the dog house. I don't know what they call it these days. Cleveland.
The pound.
Cleveland Browns are 4-3. The Browns are favored by 4 points in this game. The over/under is 42.5. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
Look, man, in my fantasy league here, I'm getting, my man Chase Claypool back healthy in the lineup. I'm looking forward to starting him today, man. The Browns have allowed 6 touchdowns to wide receivers in their past 3 games, so I'm hoping Claypool can go off. He's had at least 59 yards and a touchdown in the 3 matchups he had with the Browns dating back to last season as well. And the Browns get Nick Chubb back, man. I don't know how effective he'll be in this game, but the Browns are the #1 rushing team in the NFL right now, averaging 170 rushing yards per game, which is that's a recipe for wins right there. Every team needs to study the Browns in the 2-back system. They're not getting Kareem Hunt back, but what's the youngin that went off last week?
D'Ernest
Johnson, man. Yeah, that kid. I'm looking for him to get some carries today too, man. He probably won't have the same role he had last week with Nick Chubb in the lineup. But this is a hard game to choose, man, because the Steelers always come with a strong defense. Browns favored by 4. You know I like to pick them upset picks just out the blue. I missed on them Seahawks 2 weeks in a row last week and the week before.
They killed you. Last minute drives in 3 of those games, and they were unable to score on any of them. So
yeah, I'm not going to do it in this game. I think the Browns are going to be able to sneak out with a victory. It'll probably be a low-scoring game. I'm looking for the Browns to take this one about 21-14. And Odell Beckham was dealing with that shoulder injury. Hopefully Baker Mayfield can get my man the ball today, or somebody needs to trade my guy to Green Bay. Please.
It looks like Nick the Wick is saying that Calvin Ridley will not play. So that's definitely something we're going to keep our eyes on. Yep, I just got the text from my homie Adam Schefter. Says Falcons wide receiver Calvin Ridley will not play today due to a personal matter. So I'm definitely going to have to go in and make some changes to some lineups. Big shout out to John Kim for the $5 super chat. Says, hey, Authentic, my upset picks for this week are the Titans, Patriots, Cowboys, and Bears. And then says, do you see the Lions getting one this week versus Philly?
It's going to be tough, man. I think those teams match up pretty well. Both going to be relying on one type of running game. Swift is definitely a running back to keep your eyes on. Let me see your other upsets here. So you got the Titans, you got the Patriots. It's crazy. Dallas is an upset over the Vikings and the Bears.
The Titans.
Say it again.
I said same thing with the Titans. It's crazy that they're
with the Colts. That one's a little interesting too. I'm taking the Titans. On Thursday's show, I took the Cowboys. They were favored at that moment in time, though. I think the Vikings might sneak out a victory. I don't think you're going to hit on all 4 of these. That's what I think. I'll keep it funky like that. I don't think you'll hit on all 4 of these. You'll probably miss on one of them. And I think that the Lions do get their first win this week.
Big shout out to John Kim for the $5 super chat.
Appreciate
it's a
you,
tough
buddy.
one. I like the Titans too. Don't like the Cowboys, don't like the Patriots, or the Bears.
Did you see what's my man BB Jones comment on the last video about your picks against Cowboys?
What's crazy is I wanted to go back and double check because I'm pretty sure I pretty much picked the Cowboys to win almost all of their games so far. It's not like I pick them to lose every game.
That's very true. And what's funny is he spared me, but I also during the show was hating on the Cowboys too. I just realized that. I'm like, what?
It's because I play for Washington.
Yeah, it's that rivalry, man. It's that rivalry.
That's all it is.
All
right, we got another question on the board. It says Gesicki or Fant.
We talked about. I like Noah Fant, one of my top tight ends today, yo.
Yeah, I like Noah Fant also, but you can't go wrong with either one of those guys just because Gesicki is basically, like I said a little while ago, wide receiver number 2 over there behind Jalen Waddle. So he's going to get a ton of targets. But I just like the matchup for Noah Fant against my Washington football team today.
Yeah, I don't like the matchup against the passing defense of the Buffalo Bills. And Tua, man, he's only got 835 yards on the year. Granted, he's only played in 4 games, but he's not putting up a ton of yards. He had, one of those games he got knocked out in. But, yeah, he's not putting up a ton of yards. So, I definitely got to go Noah Fant on that one.
Next question on deck. Leroy Will Jones. Should I start Marvin Jones or D'Ernest Johnson at flex?
That's a good one. I haven't kept my eyes on Marvin Jones a lot this year.
He's played fairly well. He's the number 1 guy pretty much over there in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence has picked up his play over the last few weeks, and they are facing a struggling but improving defense in Seattle. I'm not sure where D'Ernest Johnson's role is going to come in this game, so I personally am going to have to go with Marvin Jones in this case.
It's interesting. With Hunt out the lineup, I might go D'Ernest Johnson. I'm just looking at some game logs here from Marvin Jones on the year. He only has one 100-yard game, and that was in his last game versus the Dolphins. Check these numbers out leading up to that. 1 catch, 25 yards. 3 catch, 24 yards. 6 catches, 62 yards. No touchdowns in all 3 of those games. Yeah, I think I would take the risk one more week with D'Ernest Johnson just to see what happens until they get Kareem Hunt back in the mix.
And then one more question before I give you my picks on the Steelers-Browns. Oh, we got a couple. Gesicki or Usama. I don't want to butcher that name, but I think it's Usama.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go with Gesicki in that case. I played Usama last week, and it won me some money. I'm not going to lie. But there's so many people on that offense that can possibly take away touches from him. So you really need like that ceiling game from him. Gesicki, I feel like it's going to get you more volume. So in this particular case, I'm going to go with Gesicki.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on it, man. And tight ends and running backs this year have just been really tough to find, man. A lot of people scooping them up real quick. I made the good move on Foster Moreau last week, man. It really helped me out. And I lost Robert Tonyan in that game on Thursday night, man. He's going to be out for the year with the ACL, man. So I got to do some tight end digging myself. But with those 2 options, I go Gesicki as well.
So as far as this Pittsburgh Steelers Cleveland Browns game goes, I mean, like you said, Nick Chubb is back, Baker Mayfield's back. How effective will the 2 of them be is still up to debate. The Browns need to put up some yards. So what's interesting is that the Browns are averaging 393.4 yards per game. Pittsburgh allows 352.3 yards per game. Anytime that the Browns have gone over 352.3 yards per game, they have a record of 3-2, so they do have a winning record. So hopefully they can find a way to pile up some yards if they want to get this dub. Najee Harris, Pittsburgh Steelers. I know this Browns run defense is good. I know, they got some monsters up there, but Najee Harris is just a volume guy. Yeah. He has had 15-plus touches a game. So he's going to get the rock. All it takes is him to score a touchdown, 2 touchdowns, break a big play, and he's going to give you tons of points fantasy-wise. I do like the Steelers to cover in this game. I'm not sure if they'll pull out the win, but I will take the Pittsburgh Steelers +4, and that over-under. This could be an ugly, 13-10 type of game.
And they usually play like that, too. A lot of ugly games between these 2 teams outside of the playoff game that they had.
I'm going to take the under 42.5. I'm going to go ballsy. I'm going to take the under 42.5. Big shout out to Lax044 for the $4.99 super chat. Says Khalil Herbert or Elijah Mitchell or Kadarius Toney. I can flex one.
Let me see where you're going with this one.
For me, I was in a similar situation, almost exact situation, and you just can't play Kadarius Toney because he's Monday night. And this is in relating to what your roster looks like. But if you don't have somebody else to throw into that flex position on Monday night, and you go with Kadarius Toney, and then you get to Monday night and he doesn't play, you're getting a big fat donut. And I love donuts, but I love glazed donuts. I don't like donuts on my fantasy team. So. And I like Khalil Herbert. Khalil Herbert put up 100 yards last week against that Tampa Bay run defense.
I was about to get into it. I think he's the first rusher all year long to put up 100 on them, too.
And Elijah Mitchell had a great game last week in the rain against the Colts. He also went over 100 yards. And those 2 running backs are facing up against each other. I think I would go... Man, that's tough. I like both of those running backs. I think I'm going to lean towards Elijah Mitchell.
Oh, that's interesting. I thought you were going to go the other way. I like Khalil Herbert in this matchup, man. 100 yards on 18 carries versus the Bucs. He's getting the volume, too. He also had 19 carries for 97 yards against the Packers. So I'm looking forward to seeing him get a lot of carries again today. And, out of those 3, I would lean more towards Khalil Herbert. Kadarius Toney, I gotta just wait and see. He's coming off that ankle injury. You never know what could happen in his first game back. So I just gotta wait and see with that one.
And another big shout out to Stephen Lilly for the £5 super chat. Says, my question is, why shouldn't I send you awesome guys a super chat? Let's go Giants. Let's go number 56 GOAT.
Greatest of all time, baby. That's what's up, man. LT one time in the building. We appreciate you, Stephen Lilly.
Big shout out to Patricio.
Yeah, I ain't
Says
seen
game
Patricio in a
plan
minute. What's up,
today
fam?
May look run heavy. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. No Matt Nagy over there at all.
Yeah, and I saw one more from John Kim too. I don't think we got to this one right here. Jarvis or Kadarius Toney for the flex.
Yeah, I mean,
Tough,
you got
right?
like I said, if you don't have anybody else Monday night to throw in that slot, it's the most unfortunate situation. But you have to go with Jarvis. I mean, I personally think Kadarius Toney will play. I saw him doing some pretty awesome catches at practice and then coming down on that foot. So I'm almost comfortable, but the risk is there. And it's like unless you have some sort of backup plan, then you have to go with Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, I mean, I'd flip a coin on that one, man, because they're both kind of playing banged up this year. I think Kadarius Toney has the bigger big play potential. But Jarvis Landry, if he's healthy out there, he's going to be the number one target for sure. So, I mean, I think you could go either way. I think Jarvis Landry's probably the safer play, though.
Big shout out to Tuto for the $4.99 super chat. I feel like this might be how Tuto looks, possibly.
When he's doing his pressers after the rugby win?
Yeah,
facts, right?
Got a good feeling. Saluti Paisani. New York Giants should beat Kansas City losers easily if they keep their pants up, eyes on the field, and mind focused on their assignments.
If they keep their pants up.
That's probably the most important part of that entire thing.
I like that.
Gotta keep
Shout
those
out
pants
to
up. Breaking news. The homie Adam Schefter just sent me a message. Says Lions running back Jamal Williams inactive today.
Oh, that's good for us, man. That's good for us, bro.
You know that. We got a couple of other active and inactives. I will go through this really quickly for you ladies and gentlemen. Active, inactive news. Odell Beckham and Jadeveon Clowney are in.
Active.
Colts wide receiver T.Y. Hilton is in. Jamal Williams, as we just said, is out. Trent Williams is in for the 49ers.
Banged up ankle.
Jets wide receiver Corey Davis is out, and that was as expected. That DeAndre Swift ownership in DraftKings and FanDuel it was already going to be pretty high. It just shot through the roof.
Oh, Devontae Parker's in too as well.
Devontae Parker's in.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to my homie Devontae Parker. I threw him a couple of touchdowns. All right, ladies and gentlemen, next game on the docket. Speaking of Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift, it is the Philadelphia Eagles, who are 2-5. They are 3.5-point favorites. They are heading to Detroit to face the Lions, who are looking for their first victory of the year. The over-under is 48.5 points. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jalen Hurts must start fantasy football quarterback. He is the only quarterback to score 20-plus fantasy football points in every single game of the year. He's the guy. Dallas Goedert is also a guy.
Baller.
Because, I mean, no more Zach Ertz to take away the targets. He's going to eat. I think Devontae Smith is going to have a big game also. DeAndre Swift is just going to go crazy. Also, Jalen Hurts, besides that 20 points, he's had a touchdown either rushing or passing in 12 straight games. So
he's
I'm
balling.
all over.
And on the road, too, man. He's definitely doing his thing. Passer rating of 91.9, 7 touchdowns, just over 1,000 yards. His completion percentage right over 63%. So something about him playing on the road, man. He gets everything going. I'm looking for Jalen Hurts to have a monster game, especially with Miles Sanders out of the lineup today. I'm plugging in. I told you about this off air, Fitzpatrick. I'm plugging in Boston Scott today in my lineup, man. I think he's going to be a sneaky sleeper today. Gainwell doesn't seem like the kind of guy who can run between the tackles. And after Gainwell fumbled to end the first half last week, he and Boston Scott damn near split carries. So I'm looking for Boston Scott to have a big day. He's going to be a 1-week start, and then I'm going to cut him next week.
Man. Ooh. Look. Jalen Hurts. I'm just gonna say it again. Jalen Hurts. I'm deep. I am deep on fantasy football and DraftKings and FanDuel today with Jalen Hurts. So I'm putting a lot of backing financially. Don't tell Roger Goodell that, obviously. Behind Jalen Hurts in this game today and DeAndre Swift.
Big time.
I mean, I think this game is going to it's interesting because DeAndre Swift is actually the leading receiver for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
And, Jamal Williams was the leading rusher. So we're going to get more DeAndre Swift today. And I mean, like, he's already putting up crazy fantasy numbers, as we know, for being on the Awthentik and The Beard fantasy team. So this game might be a shootout. Now, let me get this super chat really quick. Big shout out to Nick the Wick for the 499 super chat. It says, Awthentik, do you not like T. Higgins so much that you would start Devontae Parker or Cole Beasley in front of him? Last place has bad punishment.
I would consider Cole Beasley. I would. And I haven't had my eyes on him too much this year as far as his stats and his numbers. But I would consider him in a game where they're probably going to blow Miami out. You might be able to get all the points you need from Cole Beasley, like in the first quarter or the first 2 quarters. Devontae Parker, not so much, especially coming back off the injury. If it's between those 3, I mean, T. Higgins might be a safe play, get you a couple catches for sure. Hopefully he can sneak his way into the end zone with, teams kind of focusing more on Jamar Chase after that big game against the Ravens. So who knows? T. Higgins might have a bounce-back game this week. You never know.
Yeah, I think you stick with T. Higgins. He's still getting good amount of targets.
Yeah.
It's just, in this sort of situation, you might start to see T. Higgins kind of get back into that role because I think people are going to start respecting Jamar Chase a little bit more, which might open the door for T. Higgins some. So I still think that you stick with T. Higgins. We got to give a big shout out to Aaron Thoughts.
Oh, man, big ups, bro.
$50 super chat. Non-NFL question. Michigan State or Michigan State for the national championship?
I kind of have a good idea who this might be.
I do too.
Salute the homie one time in the building. I mean, I think I'm going to go with Michigan State. I mean, it's the obvious pick here. I mean, it just makes sense here. So I think we'll take Michigan State for the national championship. Appreciate that $50 super chat there, brother, and appreciate you tuning in, man.
I mean, if I got to go with Michigan State or Michigan State, I don't really know who else to go with besides Michigan State. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Are you going to take Michigan State or are you going to take Michigan State? I'm going to take Michigan State. Let me tell you, Michigan State's got a guy. His name is Kenneth Walker the third. Not the first, not the second, but the third. The guy had 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns yesterday against Michigan in a big game. And you know what my man says, John Madden, who I've had a couple of conversations with over my time in the league. And I remember he used to say, big players make big plays in big play situations.
It's that easy.
And Kenneth Walker III made not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 big plays yesterday for 5 touchdowns. The kid is special. He's got to be in the Heisman conversation. So big shout outs to Aaron Thoughts for the $50 super chat. And what do they say in Michigan? They say go green, go white. I'll tell you, I went to Michigan once and I was there. I've actually been to Michigan twice, and I was there when Michigan played Michigan State. I can't remember if it was basketball or football, but the entire place, it's like the biggest thing, and it's either go green or go blue. Like they're just like, you just hear it, people saying it to each other everywhere you go. Like, it's crazy. Big shout out to Aaron Thoughts. So
yeah, big shout out to Aaron Thoughts. I hope that's who I think that is, man. I hope that's the fan, man. Hope you get well.
It sounds like a name he would have.
It does sound like a name he would have.
Patricio for the $4.99 says super chat says shout out to the Beard's chest hairs. Fitz Magic, baby, in the building.
Big facts.
Love. We appreciate the support. Big shout out to Stephen Lilly for the £5 super chat. Says that isn't chest hair. That's just how long his beard is.
Oh my god. Oh, that's good, bro. That's good. They got jokes today. That's what's up.
Yeah. So I am. It's a moonshine skull glass, by the way.
Yeah. What you know, Bluegrass. You know what I'm saying? You need a good item. You need to flip on that channel. Look at that thing right there, boy. Look at that thing.
Look, I accidentally took the Detroit Lions plus 3.5 in one of my parlays that I like really, really a lot. And I posted on Twitter. I started thinking about it. I was like, am I going to regret this? Am I going to regret this? I hope I don't. I think the Eagles might squeak out with a W here.
Yeah.
But I am going to take the Detroit Lions plus the 3.5, and I am going to take the over 48.5. I was a little worried about that number, but I am going to take the over 48.5.
Yeah, I'm taking the over as well, and I'm gonna go with the Lions, man. I'm gonna just go with the Lions because I my gut, my pride needs the Lions to win today. I don't know if my Giants gonna be able to handle business on Monday night. We got to secure these L's with the other teams in the division for sure. I'm not trying to be at the bottom of the league, man. That's not the vibes this year.
No, it is not. Trust me. Shout out to Nick the Wick for the $1.99 super chat. Says different league, Tom Brady or Justin Herbert. That's an interesting matchup. I mean, Tom Brady is the GOAT right now. I mean,
hey, listen, Tom Brady the best quarterback in football. I said
you got to go with Tom Brady, right?
I said what I
love
said.
Justin Herbert. Is that what I said? All right,
I like
we're moving
Herbert
on.
too.
We're gonna go. I know we both liked Herbert, but I guess we're gonna go with Tom Brady in that situation. Beat drop. God, killed it. All right. Next game on the slate is going to be the Los Angeles Rams, who are 6-1. They are 16.5-point favorites at the Houston Texans, who are 1-6. The over/under is 45.5 points right now. The Texans are going to be going with Davis Mills. Tyrod Taylor is not quite ready yet to take the reins back in this game. The Texans also just traded away Mark Ingram to the New Orleans Saints. I mean, look, Cooper Kupp is he's that guy. I mean, you know what's interesting, though? The Houston Texans are averaging 22 points per game at home this year. And that includes that 9 points they just put up recently against the Carolina Panthers at home. So they're putting up points at home, which is kind of interesting because they're going to need to put up some points against this Los Angeles Rams team. The Texans are giving up 12.6 yards per reception. I mean, that's a first down every catch.
Yeah, that's
and
horrible.
Cooper Kupp, speaking of catches, he leads the league in touchdowns. He leads the league in yards. He leads the league in receptions. But I also like Van Jefferson in this game. Van Jefferson played almost 80. I think he played at least 80% of the snaps, offensive snaps, in their last game. So that's something to keep your eye on. And Deshaun Jackson is probably not going to play because he has requested to be traded. So, I mean, Van Jefferson is a sneaky guy. I also love Daryl Henderson in this game. You know, he was supposed to have a big game last week against the Lions, and he kind of just killed me. I mean, he didn't have a bad game, but he just didn't have a big game.
I know exactly what thought was going through your head right there, and you couldn't say it. I know what you wanted to say there.
Yeah. So I think I'm looking for him to have a bounce back game here. I love the Rams in this game, obviously. 16.5 is a crazy point spread, but the Texans have not covered any of these crazy point spreads. They gave everybody a little bit of a scare last week. They were up on the Arizona Cardinals for a little bit, you know, like it was like 5-3 or something like that. It was very eerily similar to that Giants Carolina Panthers game. But Awthentik says he wasn't worried. I'm not worried today. I'm gonna take the Rams. I'm gonna take the Rams minus 16.5, and I'm definitely going to take the over 45.5, knowing that the Houston Texans do average 22 points per game at home.
That's solid, man. And those Cooper Kupp statistics are amazing. I didn't know he led in that many categories. As far as who you got to sit in this game, and I've been high on him as far as going into this season, is Brandon Cooks, man. He's struggling with Davis Mills at quarterback. And a surprising statistic, why I wanted to start him today, is the Rams' pass defense is 21st right now. I thought that was really interesting. So they got to clean that up before they start making this playoff run. The Texans allowed Zach Ertz in his debut with the Cardinals, no practice, no nothing, to go out there and get 6 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown. So I'd look for Tyler Higbee to have a big day today. He's had 4+ catches in 5 of his 7 games. Looking for him to ball out. He's on one of our lineups today as well. Give me the Rams in this one. I'm going to take the over as well. I think the Rams will cover, though.
Yep. It's going to be I'm hoping it's a shootout. It's a shootout.
Yeah, I think you'll get some points out of the Texans. Like you said, man, that number at home is good, and they can put up something, but Mark Ingram wasn't really getting no work over there, and they can't find a real way to run the ball, which bothers me.
Yeah. All right, next game on the slate, which I believe is the last 1 o'clock game of the day, is going to be the San Francisco 49ers, who are 2-4 and 4-point favorites, heading to Chicago, who is 3-4. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The over-under in this game is an embarrassing 39.5 points. Tell me what you got, Awthentik.
I'll tell you what I got. I'm going to take the under in this game right off the bat. I'm taking the under. Bears don't score a lot of points. Niners don't score a lot of points. You got a injured, banged up left tackle for the 49ers and Trent Williams dealing with that ankle injury. I think they'll struggle to run the ball today. Man, it's interesting because this is another hard game to pick, I feel like. We talked about Khalil Herbert. I think he's going to ball out again. He's coming off pretty much back-to-back 100-yard games, 97 against the Packers. Getting the volume, we talked about that. He's got 19 carries and 18 carries in those 2 games. I'm going to take the Bears in this one, man. I think the Bears are going to get the victory here, and I think it'll be pretty convincing. I'm going to take the Bears by about 7, but give me that under.
This one might come back to be a good Twitter clip for you because that is 2 bold picks in one game.
Yeah, I'm taking that under. It's going to be like 17-10. Watch 13 to 3.
And the Chicago Bears are tied, I believe, with the Minnesota Vikings for the most sacks in the National Football League this year with 21. So it's going to be interesting to see. We might see some Trey Lance magic today because if Jimmy G can't find a way to get away from the pressure and find Deebo Samuel, then they might have to bring in Trey Lance. Deebo Samuel, let's talk about Deebo Samuel. You know, he's a little banged up. So as long as he's good to go, we didn't get any other news so far this morning. So I'm assuming he is ready to rock and ready to roll. He is top 12 in receptions, top 12 in yards, targets, and touchdowns. He's one of only 2 players to have 3 games of 7 catches, 100 yards, and 1 touchdown this year. So, I mean, Deebo is here. He's showing up. But I love the running backs in this game. Elijah Mitchell and Khalil Herbert, I think both of them will go for over 100 yards today. I am going to take the 49ers to win, but I do think the Bears might sneakily cover this game, and I'm going to go with the over. 39.5 seems ridiculous.
I like this.
It seems ridiculous, and I'm setting it up for a good Twitter clip.
Can't forget to mention that Khalil Mack is going to be out this game, too. 6 sacks on the year.
Yeah, and they did get 2 other defensive players back off the IR, though, and at the same time losing Khalil Mack. So hopefully that'll help them out in this game. All right, let's go to the 4 o'clock games where things get a little bit interesting. It is the Mac Jones Patriots playing the Los Angeles Chargers. The Patriots are 3-4. The Chargers are 4-2. Chargers are favored by 4 points. Over-under is a whopping 50.5 points. Kickoff is Sunday at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Damian Harris. Damian Harris is another guy I'm banking on this week. Let's flip the page on my notes. The Los Angeles Chargers allow 162.5 yards per game on the ground. That is insane. So I think Damian Harris has a big game. I think the Chargers are the good thing about the Chargers is they have that bye week going into a game against Bill Belichick and the Patriots. That's always helpful to kind of have that bye week, give you a little bit of extra time to kind of game plan for all the different things that Belichick might throw at you. Austin Eckler had a little bit of questions going into this game injury-wise, but apparently he is starting himself in his own fantasy football lineup, so that's all I needed to see. I like the Chargers in this game. I'm going to take the Chargers. I'm going to take the Chargers to cover -4. And I'm also going to take the over in this game. That run defense is super sketchy for the Chargers. I do like the Chargers secondary. They haven't been playing, up to their capabilities, I think. But I love the rookie Asante Samuel Jr. I think he's a stud. So I think that the Chargers are going to take care of business in this game. But I do think Damian Harris has a great fantasy game today.
50.5, man. That's a lot of points, man. I do not think we're going to get to that 50.5. I'm going to keep it funky with you. This is definitely a matchup between quarterbacks, man. Justin Herbert balling out on the year, 14 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 1,771 yards, 65%. That boy definitely balling. And Mac Jones, man, I said this a couple episodes ago, man. Best rookie quarterback right now in that class, 9 touchdowns. He's got more passing yards than Justin Herbert and a higher completion percentage in that game. I would definitely pick the Chargers in this game had it not been the last matchup. They got blown out by the New England Patriots, 45-0. That makes things a little bit interesting for me. I'm kind of winging it on the fly here, but let me give you a fantasy player that you definitely want to look out for. Mike Williams. Definitely the kind of player who has a on game and a off game, okay? He's got 33 catches on the year, 6 touchdowns. Now check this out. He's coming off a dud versus the Ravens, 2 catches, 27 yards, 0 touchdowns. The week before that against the Browns, he had 8 catches for 165 yards, 2 tutters, okay? 2 weeks ago, he was against the Raiders, put up a dud. He had 1 catch for 11 yards, no touchdowns. 3 weeks ago, he put up a big game, 7 catches for 122 yards, 2 touchdowns. So after coming off that dud against the Ravens, I'm looking for a big bounce-back game. I think he's going to be the main reason why the Chargers are going to win this game. I'm looking for 2 touchdowns again on another bounce-back week from your boy Mike Williams. I think Herbert will have a big game. I think that the offensive line is going to struggle with Mac Jones, who he's only been sacked about 12 times, I believe, on the year. It should be about 20 because that offensive line has not been playing well. The only reason they say that offensive line is playing well is because Mac Jones gets rid of that ball really quickly. One quick update on your boy Austin Eckler. He told Adam Schefter the other day on Saturday, I will play. So look for him to get out there and do some damage. I don't think he's been ruled out or nothing like that. He should be active. And Sebastian said, nugget alert. I saw Sebastian said earlier in the chat, too, I shouldn't be picking the Bears because we got their pick. We need them to lose games. I'm all with you on that, but I just think that the 49ers are a little bit overrated smoke right now. But give me the Chargers in this game. I'm going to take the under in this one, but I do think the Chargers will cover that 4.
It's going to be an interesting game. Those Patriots games always, you just never know what to expect with them. So it sketches me out, but I think that's why I like the Chargers so much off of the bye week. Shout out to everybody in watching us on Facebook. I see we got 2 Facebook thumbs up, so shout out to you guys on Facebook. We appreciate it. Faux show. Definitely. All right, moving into the next 4 o'clock game is the Jacksonville Jaguars, who I thought would have a winning record this year. They are 1-5. They are headed to Seattle, who is 2-5. Matchup between 2 ex-college football coaches in Urban Meyer and Pete Carroll. The Seahawks are favored by 3.5 points. The over-under is 44.5. Man, Trevor Lawrence has been playing a little bit better.
Yeah.
And you know who I like in this game? I like the tight end. I like both of these tight ends. I like Gerald Everett, tight end for the Seahawks. I think it's going to be important for Geno Smith to get into a rhythm. I think once he gets into a rhythm, he's really good. When he came in off the bench and he was in that, hurry up sort of vibe, they were down a lot of points. I feel like that's when he played his best since he's had to take over for Russell Wilson after his injury. So I think you get him in a rhythm, you get Gerald Everett going. I like him, and I like Dan Arnold for the Jaguars, especially coming off of the bye week. And then James Robinson for the Jacksonville Jaguars. 4 straight games of at least 70 yards and a touchdown.
That's solid.
And we know the Seattle Seahawks, have their defense has been up and down pretty much, this year.
Yeah.
But I think the tight ends is the biggest point here. The Jacksonville Jaguars have allowed 474 yards, 4 touchdowns to the tight end so far this year. So that's why I like Gerald Everett. And then Dan Arnold has 8 catches, 13 targets the last 2 games. So those are some of the guys that I'm looking for in this game. I like Jacksonville in this game. I don't know if I have the cojones to pick them to win, but I am going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars to cover the 3.5, and we're going to take the over 44.5.
See, if you think they're going to cover that 3.5, you should try to get one of your wins back here. Maybe just outright pick them. But I'm with you, man. I missed on the Seahawks 2 weeks in a row with the upset pick, man, and a lot of it was on on Geno Smith's play. He's been playing pretty safe, conservative football while he's been in the starting lineup here. He's played in 3 games, has 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. But last week versus the Saints, 54 completion percentage. That is just not going to get it done. Geno Smith, nah, fam. I'm not feeling you today. I would not start him even if I was desperate at the quarterback position. The Seahawks pass defense is ranked 27th in the NFL right now, allowing 297.8 yards per game through the air. The Jaguars defense allows the 2nd most passing yards per game, 297.8. So these are two terrible defenses, both allowing 297.8 yards per game. Maybe this could be a little bit of a boat race, man, and we could see Trevor Lawrence put up some big stats on the board. I like Trevor Lawrence over Geno Smith in this game as far as the quarterbacks go. I really don't want to pick the Seahawks because they let me down 2 weeks in a row. My whole DJ Dallas game plan from last week with the groin injury to Alex Collins, that didn't work out. He got me a big, fat 0 on the board. I'm never going to start him again. He got cut the day after. But I got to go Seahawks in this one, man. The Jaguars haven't really proven much at 1-5. So I'm going to pick the Seahawks in this one, and I think they'll cover. I don't think this will be a close game, man. I don't think the Jaguars are going to keep it within 3-4 points. Not going to be the vibe. So give me the Seahawks and give me the over. It's going to be a boat race.
Boat race, right? Boat race. Yeah. We need to have like a little boat like come across.
Oh, I got you. Graphics department. I'm going to send in an email, corporate style from the business email account. You know, we should have that in a couple days, I'm sure.
Shout out. So, I was going to say something. Oh, yes, I remember now. Lamar Jackson's on a bye week, so I am in a tough situation. I am actually starting both of the quarterbacks in this game.
Oh, nah. Geno, there got to be a better option out there, bro.
I don't know, man. I mean, you said it yourself. Jacksonville Jaguars are pretty bad defensively.
Pretty bad pass defense. That's for sure.
So we'll see. Speaking of not bad defenses, the next game on the slate, the first game of 2 games in the 4:25 time slot, is going to be my former team in which I made this famous. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are 6-1, are 4-point favorites at the New Orleans Saints, who are 4-2. The over-under in this game is 48.5. Kickoff is at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jameis Winston revenge game.
It's a Jameis Winston revenge game. Forgot about that.
It is. And listen, there's some weapons on this Tampa Bay team. We know. I think Gronk might play in this game. Still kind of waiting to get word on that. Antonio Brown is out. So Godwin, Mike Evans, one of the two of them, if not both of them, are just going to have a big game, I think. Don't forget the Saints defense is pretty good. I am kind of leaning towards Godwin because of the history of Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore. And Mike Evans has been shadowed twice, I believe, this season, and both of those games were his 2 worst games of the season. So I do like Godwin in this game. Don't be afraid to play Alvin Kamara. I know the Bucs defense is really good, but the Bucs run defense is specifically really good against those traditional in-between the tackle running backs.
Yeah.
Now, Kamara is going to be one of these guys who's going to get on the outside. He's going to catch the ball. So I like Kamara in this game, actually. I don't know how close this game is actually going to be. The Saints played Tampa Bay with Tom Brady fairly well in each of their matchups last season. And I think they played 3 times. So I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Bucks. I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Bucks to cover. But I do think the Saints get kind of close in this game. And I think what I'm most curious to see is how Jameis plays. Are they going to, be like, hey, this is your revenge game, we're going to take the training wheels off, or are they going to stick to the script that they've been playing so far offensively this season? That's where it's going to come into play. Big shout out. Oh,
I got you.
Same time. The Lax 044 for the $1.99 super chat says Daniel Jones or Matt Ryan. That is a interesting one.
Matt Ryan against the Panthers, Daniel Jones against the Chiefs. Both should have good games.
Both should have good games. The only reason why I would lean towards Daniel Jones is the points he's going to get you rushing. I think that's something that you have to consider in fantasy football in the year 2021. So I actually think I would lean towards Daniel Jones, especially against that Chiefs defense. That's where I would go.
I see Dan says too risky because he plays Monday. What about the risk theory you were throwing out there a little earlier? You don't like Matt Ryan a little bit more because of that and because of the matchup against the Panthers. You can't forget the damage that Daniel Jones just did against them, too. They only put up 3 points.
I mean, I know Daniel Jones is going to play, so the risk factor doesn't really bother me in that sense. I understand going with Matt Ryan. I guess it all also depends, too, on your scoring of your league. I like Daniel Jones in this matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think he's going to put up some good points. I think he's going to have to. If Kansas City is in the mode of we're tripping, we need to play, we're at home on national television, then they're going to put up some points, and Daniel Jones is going to have to do something. I mean, he's going to have to put the team on the back again. You know, with Matt Ryan, he's also kind of in that similar situation where they need to keep winning, and he's the controller of the offense. He dictates where the ball is going to be going. No Calvin Ridley this week, so I'm going to go Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, and I like everything you said. I got to go Daniel Jones. I'm going with my gut this week. I told y'all on Twitter this past week, don't give me no nonsense about me picking anything about my Giants. You know, the Giants reserve a special place in my fantasy football heart that we can't tamper with, okay? So I'm definitely going Daniel Jones on this one. I don't think Matt Ryan's a bad play. He's had some pretty good games. Back-to-back weeks with 2 touchdowns and 300 yards. I talked about that. And the week before that against Washington, he had 4 touchdowns for 283 yards. So, I mean, Matt Ryan's definitely been balling out. Daniel Jones gives you the extra points and extra benefit of being a runner, so that might be a vibe. Oh, shout out Double Easy in the building one time. OG said, is Authentic Urkel as a pimp? Nah, I'm more on my Calvin vibes or more on my Run DMC vibes or, you know, trying to get paid in full vibes, B. Come on, son. Come on, son. Come on. You should know as an OG, but shout out to homie Double Easy in the building one time.
Big shout out Double Easy. Appreciate you stopping by. All right. It's time for my current team. You know, I'd be playing in this game if it wasn't for my hip. Don't worry. I'm going to be back soon, and I'm going to take over, and we're going to make the playoffs.
You know what? We should go back to that Bucs Saints game because I really didn't give you no nuggets. I ain't give you the rundown. I ain't give you the rundown. And I got a good rundown to keep it real. I'm the one who forced us into the next game. So, look, real quick back to the Bucs Saints game. Jameis Winston, okay? He's definitely the topic of discussion here, okay? He's going back for the revenge game and all that. He's averaging 22.2 fantasy points per game, right? That sounds kind of good, right? He has 4 games under 20 fantasy points this year, and he has 3 games under 14 fantasy points this year. Of his 13 passing touchdowns this year, 9 came in 2 games. Think about that. You remove those 2 games, the guy's got 4 touchdowns. Tampa Bay has pressured opposing quarterbacks at the 5th highest rate, 33% of the dropbacks right now. And the Bucs have held 3 of the last 4 quarterbacks they've faced under 20 fantasy points. Jameis Winston is a major sit him down on the bench today. I feel like I don't care if it is a revenge game. Let him prove he's worthy. First, he's been, like my man Fitzpatrick said over there, they've had the training wheels on my guy. If they take him off today, it could be very risky. Might be able to get you a reward out of that too, but it could be very risky. Now, we're talking about the best quarterback in the NFL. Yes, I did say that. Tom Brady is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. The Bucs have the number 1 pass attack in the NFL by 24 yards per game. They're putting up 324 yards per game. No Antonio Brown. My man talked about that one time. Brady scores at home, and this game is on the road. So that's the one thing you got to watch out for with Tom Brady. Check this number out, bro. He's got 18 touchdowns at home this year, and he's got 4 on the road. I thought that was really interesting. Definitely you looking at the best quarterback in football right now, 2,275 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. How is Tom Brady doing this, dog? Tom Brady might be out there with a walker in a couple years still throwing touchdowns, man. Salute to the GOAT one time. Y'all know what it is, and there's only one person that can be the GOAT's dad, and that's Eli Manning. Shout out to my Giants Nation one time in the building. Let's keep it pushing.
Who do you think plays longer, me or Tom Brady?
I got to go Tom Brady, man. I think this might be your last. No disrespect, Fitzmagic. You've done some magical things in your career. I remember your last game when you were playing for the Miami Dolphins. You took a smack shot right to the face and delivered a ball right down the field 40 yards. I mean, you've been a good quarterback, but your days here in Washington have not looked that great. You look like a statue in the pocket for those six attempts that you had in that game before you got knocked out. And, you know, the older you get, man, you know, the hips, man, them things, they not moving the same way, man. You know, you can't get your sauce on and none of that. So I'm looking for this to probably be your last season in the league, bro. I'm sorry. I hate to break it down to you. But, man, hey, more power to you, man. I wish the best of luck to you.
Maybe I can come on here more often.
Yeah, you know.
I've been working on my Dak hip. My Dak
No,
hips.
that Eli vibe on Monday night was hilarious, imitating Dak.
Trying to, you know, see if I can get back into action here and help my team win some games.
Big facts. But give me the Bucs in this game, man, and I'm going to take the over because I do think that the Saints are going to try to compete with Kamara in the building.
That's a good matchup for a 4:00 game too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of narratives in that game.
Yeah.
Speaking of 4 o'clock games, and speaking of my team, the Washington football team, who is 2-5, they will be headed to Mile High. Don't get too high in Denver. The Broncos are 3-4 and 4-point favorites. The over-under is a whopping 44 points. You guys know I love a good over-under of 44 points. Kickoff is at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Man, I'm gonna let you start with this one. You go ahead before I talk about my team.
So if you tuned in on Thursday, I talked a lot about Taylor Heineke's struggles being a lot of what has to do with Antonio Gibson's injury. The shin injury has definitely slowed down Antonio Gibson on the year. He's got 4 touchdowns on the year. He started off strong, and then as soon as that shin became a problem, he's kind of slowed down. Now, if Washington falls behind in this game, McKissick is going to be a big factor in the passing game. You know, he's one of the most targeted running backs in the NFL right now. Denver has given up at least 1 score to a running back in each of his past 4 games and 120 rushing yards in 2 of his last 3. So look out for Washington to have a big day on the ground. Maybe Antonio Gibson is getting a little bit more healthy, and we could see him put out some good product on the field. I like Jerry Jeudy in this game more than I like Cortland Sutton in this game. Cortland Sutton has 38 receptions on the year, 5 touchdowns, though, 539 yards. That's no slouch. Washington's defense is allowing the most yards through the air per game of any team in the NFL right now, allowing 300.6 passing yards per game. Von Miller practiced all week. I think that's not a good thing for your boy Taylor Heinicke. But I would look for Taylor Heinicke to have a big game today, man. I think he's got to have a bounce-back game. He's had a couple of struggling games here, 3 in a row. Maybe this is the one where he can get it together, clean it up, no turnovers. I think Washington has a chance in this game. I'm going to stick with the score that I picked on Thursday. I picked 21-20 for the Broncos, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Washington football team comes out on top. So for me, as far as that 44, we not going to get there, Fitzmagic.
Look, I know it's been tough without me, guys, but I'm still cheering for my team, the Washington football team. The Denver Broncos have some good defensive players. So it's going to be up to my protege, little baby Fitz, Taylor Heinicke, to go out there and find find Terry McLaurin.
Terry on Halloween.
You gotta find. I mean, listen, they don't call him Scary Terry for nothing. The Broncos, I have told you guys this previously in my other body as the Beard, that the Denver Broncos have allowed a touchdown pass of over 48 yards in 3 of their last 4 games.
You did say that
so
on
I'm
Thursday.
looking for a big play in this game. I think Washington's going to have to find a way to run the ball. We both talked about Noah Fant. I think both of the tight ends in this game could be good fantasy plays, Ricky Seals-Jones and Noah Fant.
Yes, sir.
I think that they're gonna find a way to eke out a victory here. Teddy's a little he's a little
Shout out Double Easy in the building one time.
I felt like it worked out. I could have been a whole lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? You use your imagination out there in the YouTubes. But I think that the Washington's defense finds a way to get to Teddy Bridgewater today. I just don't think he's fully healthy yet. If he is able to move around efficiently, he could spell trouble for my Washington football team. But I'm going to stick to the script, and I'm going to go with the Washington football team to win 24-17. Big shout out to
What's your
Sebastian.
thoughts on First String Podcast comment right there about Patterson? Time to use all 3 running backs.
Yeah, I do it, and I've been talking about it. I think that you got to give Patterson and McKissick each need 5 to 10 carries, and then get Gibson 15 to 20 carries. Heineke's throwing the ball too much, 39 times. 39.1 times a game. Yeah,
that's real. Shout out to Toothpick too one time in the building.
Yeah, if you guys haven't checked out First String Podcast, make sure you guys head over there and subscribe. Big shout out to Sebastian for the $1.99 super chat. Says the Beard comes off the bench and throws 400 touchdowns, 400 yards, and 8 touchdowns.
400 touchdowns, bro. 400 touchdowns.
Pain medicine for my hips starting to get to my head. But yeah, big shout out to Sebastian for the $1.99 super chat. Unfortunately, son, I'm not able to come off the bench. I'm on the IR, but I'll be back.
I'll be back.
I'm working on the hips to come back and take my throne.
Big facts. Big facts.
Big shout out to Jeff. Appreciate you stopping through, brother. Next game on the slate, we go into Sunday Night Football. The Dallas Cowboys are 5-1. They are headed to Minnesota, who is 3-3. Minnesota, this game has completely switched around. Minnesota Vikings are now 2.5-point favorites. The over-under is 51.5 points. Kickoff is at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dak is a little bit of a question mark going into this game, which is why the spread has changed drastically. I am a firm believer in the Minnesota Vikings giving the Dallas Cowboys trouble in this game. I just think that this is the setup game for the Cowboys. But Zeke and Tony Pollard are going against one of the worst rushing defenses in the National Football League, so I'm expecting both of them to have a big game. Dalvin Cook off of a week of rest is always a good thing. Kirk Cousins has only thrown two interceptions all year.
Ballin'.
Trayvon Diggs has an interception in every single game, at least one interception. I think he's got 2 in 1 or 2 games already.
Yeah, he had 2 in 1, yep.
So it'll be interesting to see if Trayvon Diggs gets that interception. As only thing I don't want to see is that Kirk Cousins, primetime Kirk Cousins, end of the game, primetime Kirk Cousins. Throwing an interception to Trayvon Diggs, end of the game, primetime Kirk Cousins. I like the Vikings in this game. I don't know. I don't like the Vikings necessarily minus 2.5 as much as I like the Vikings plus 2.5. But I think that the Vikings do win this game. It's going to be close. I mean, I kind of want to pick the Cowboys, but if Dak Prescott doesn't play, there's no doubt about it the Minnesota Vikings win this game. That's where I'm going to – and I definitely think we hit the over.
Who would be the backup if Dak doesn't play?
Who's eating Gilbert Grape, I think?
Is it Gilbert Grape? Don't tell me it's Ben DiNucci because that boy cannot throw a football.
I think Ben DiNucci's on the practice squad now.
Yo, Ben DiNucci needs to start a podcast because if he can get a practice job.
Ben DiNucci's dad, probably.
Yo, that kid cannot throw the ball. No disrespect, man. But, yeah, you did talk about the Vikings' rush defense. Definitely a problem here going up against the second best rushing attack in the NFL right now. Zeke and Pollard putting up 164 rushing yards per game, which is solid right now. CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper on the outsides, man, combined for 8 touchdowns, 92 receptions, 870 yards. 145 yards per game from the two of them. And, we don't talk about kickers enough. I brought this up on Thursday. Greg Zuerlein balling out for the Cowboys, 55 points on the year from just field goals. You also mentioned Dalton Schultz. He's got a good matchup today. He's averaging 14.2 fantasy points per game. Only one tight end, though, all season has really posted a good fantasy game against the Vikings, and that was your boy Max Williams. He had 7 receptions for 94 yards against this Vikings defense. The Vikings are the best third down defense in football. Teams are only converting on 29% on third down versus the Vikings. That's going to be a key statistic to keep your eyes on. I picked the Cowboys to win this game on Thursday. I'm going to flip-flop this one. Dak coming in banged up. I'm going with my gut today. I really feel like Kirk Cousins might shine under these lights. He hasn't done it in most primetime games in his career. It's a good thing he's out in Minnesota playing a lot of games under the radar. I think that's going to boost him up and juice him up for this game against the Cowboys in a game where they're 3-3 trying to get over 500. Give me the Vikings in this game today. And I'm going to take the over 51.5. I think this one's definitely going to be a boat race. I'd look for both teams to be in the 30s. I think the Vikings are going to win this game 38-31.
Boom. Man.
Ooh, right on the drop. Good God. Let's go. Giants Nation is in the building. We ready, cuz. Let's go.
Speaking of Giants Nation, our last game on the slate, the Monday Night Football game, is going to be Awthentik's. Oh, shout out graphics department.
Shout out the graphics department doing things. I wish I could, get to your side of the screen and kind of. That's not working out over here.
The New York Football Giants are 2-5. They are heading to Arrowhead. The Kansas City Chiefs are a shocking, surprising 3-4. The Kansas City Chiefs are still favored by 10 points. The over-under is 52.5. Kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you guys stay tuned for information regarding our Monday schedule because of this glorious New York Giants, Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, it's going to be hard
matchup.
to do a giant overreaction before the game. Can't do that, right?
We're going to have to do something special.
Oh, we're going to have to do something special.
Listen, I have been vocal and on the record of saying take the New York Giants plus 10. I'm not saying that the Giants are going to win the game, but take the plus 10. The Kansas City Chiefs are not the same Kansas City Chiefs that they have been in the previous years. But I am not one of these crazy individuals who, I mean, there are people out there saying trade Patrick Mahomes.
I like how you pumped the brakes there. You were just like, I'm not one of these crazy individuals. Man, look, actually.
These people out here, they're talking crazy, okay? So let's just get a little Aaron Rodgers in y'all and relax.
Yeah,
everything's
relax.
going to be all right. But I do think that this Giants team, if that defense can repeat their performance from the last week against the Carolina Panthers, will give the Chiefs some problems. The Chiefs are going to have to find a way to run the ball. I think that that's important to take some of the pressure off of Patrick Mahomes. The secondary for the New York Giants is going to have their hands full. But I like the Giants to cover. I'm going to take the Giants plus 10. I don't think they win. And I am going to take the over 52.5. I think this is going to be a pretty high-scoring game. One way or another. It's going to be interesting. What about you, Awthentik? What you got?
Man, you know, I'm trying to like psych myself up today and get hyped for this game, man. Monday night, we get to watch everybody else play. Hopefully we can see kind of similar results like we did last week where all the teams in the NFC East lost except my New York Giants. Even though the Dallas Cowboys kind of got a win because, you know, both y'all fell to 2-5, Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington football team. I think my Giants are going to hang on Monday night, man. I think this is going to be a really good game, actually, man. I think that the Chiefs are coming in. They're pretty desperate for a big game. Patrick Mahomes is definitely going to be looking to show out in this game. I look for Tyrik Hill and Travis Kelce to have big games against this Giants defense, though. I don't think there's going to be nothing like that last week game against the Carolina Panthers. We're not going to be holding the Kansas City Chiefs to 3 points 2 weeks in a row. 7 games into the season, Tyrik Hill has 52 receptions, 641 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He's also got 5 rushes for 63 yards. His receptions are tied for second most in the NFL. Meanwhile, Travis Kelce has 45 receptions for 533 yards and 4 touchdowns. Kadarius Toney, I think the kid could have a big night, man. This is going to be his first real deal primetime game under them lights Monday night. We know how Odell Beckham put the league on notice in primetime games. I think this could be a big staple game for not only Kadarius Toney, but for Daniel Jones. The whole country going to be watching us go up against the Chiefs here. The 10 is 10 or 10. It's 10.5? No, it's 10.
10, yeah.
I think the Giants are going to cover that. And honestly, man, I got to go with my gut. I got Giants Nation in the building. We got 62 in the chat right now one time. Look, man, the Giants need a victory to keep this season going. This is do or die right now. Halloween, I'm feeling a little spooky. I'm going with my New York Giants to win this game. 33-31 against the Kansas City Chiefs, man. I'm feeling super froggy on this Sunday afternoon, man. I'm picking them Giants. I think we're going to get a little twist. I went with the Vikings one time. Giants about to make our little run, man. I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit optimistic today. I don't know about all that authentic, realistic stuff I've been talking about for 7 weeks, man. I got to keep it a little extra spicy today.
The bomb has been dropped. And on that note, it's no better time to go to a $4.99 super chat because I don't even have to read this. I already know he's probably talking about taking somebody's head off. If I would have played for the New York Giants without any unnecessary roughness or chopping block rules, I would have taken the wind out of the Mahomes and all of his teeth. Shout out to Tuto.
He didn't say out of the Mahomes. You added that.
No, he said take the wind out of the Mahomes.
Out of Mahomes, man.
Oh, I guess I added a little.
He's still reading it too. Like, nah, I know I just read that correctly.
Sometimes I read it and I see the spelling and I think about how I would say it. I would, I think Tuto would have said, "Take it the wind out of the Mahomes and all of his teeth." Shout out to Tuto.
I like how you be giving Tuto that accent. That's what's up, man.
Big shout out.
Big shout out to Tuto in the building one time.
I was like, wait, what's happening? What's going on?
Big shout out to Tuto in the building, man. Let's go. Greg Daniels in the building. Giants, let's get this dub, man. We ain't got no real staple win, man. That Saints game, I'm not feeling too good about that one. I need a win against a big team. Jameis Winston don't scare nobody. I need a win against the man Patrick Mahomes one time. Y'all know what it is.
Big shout out to everybody in the building. Awthentik, I want to thank you for allowing me to join you on this show today. This Halloween special.
Yeah, perfect time to bring in the
Beard.
magician. You know what I'm saying? Halloween is perfect, man. You got some tricks up your sleeve. You said Washington's going to get the dub today against the Broncos, right?
There's a W in there somewhere.
How many touchdowns we going to get from Taylor Heineke today?
2.
He said, war.
I wanted to say only 1, but we're going to go with 2. We're going to go with 2.
I'm going 3 touchdowns from the boy Taylor Heineke today. 3 touchdowns. You might be 1 on the ground, but he's going to have 3 total touchdowns, whatever goes down. Ooh, bars. Good God. Get off that.
New album on the way.
New album on the way. Got that Mad Cat feature, baby. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it.
I might have to wear this joke for the video.
This might be the rap outfit right here, bro. Hey, so we're looking at it's 12:30 right now, Eastern Standard Time. Still 68 in the building, man. We appreciate all of y'all pulling up today to the parlay, the Halloween edition with Fitz Magic and your boy Jam Master Jay. Rest in peace to Jam Master Jay one time in the building. Man, just a fun show, man. I'm glad we got to dress it up, man. I know my girl's going to be happy about this. My girl's mom's going to be real happy about this. She kind of blessed me with the costume vibes as well. We didn't really get to go out for Halloween. So make sure tonight y'all got extra candy for the kids, man. No candy corn out the bag. No, don't be grabbing the candy corn with your palms and whatnot. You know, we in the middle of a damn pandemic right now, okay? Can't be just throwing raw candy corn in the bag. But make sure y'all enjoy y'all Halloween. To all the kids and all the young folks we be having pull up to the chats. You know, I know y'all probably right around that age where you're getting a little too old to trick-or-treat and you don't know it. So if you like 15, I don't want to see you knocking on my door talking about trick-or-treat. All right, cuz let's keep it funky here, man. But we appreciate y'all. Still 66 in the building, man. Any last words before we get up out of here, the Beard?
Nah, man, just good luck on your lineups, and make sure you hit the bell on the YouTube channel. Just follow us on Twitter as well, so just in case, you know, we have some special edition Awthentik and The Beards popping up on Monday. Also, I'm going to drop some bets and lineups for some of the later games and the night game and Monday night game on Twitter. So make sure you guys are following us. I'm trying to go 2 weeks in a row with hitting a parlay in the primetime game. So wish me luck. And I'll put that out there just in case anybody wants to ride along with the bets. And enjoy your Sunday of football, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate all of the love and all of the support.
Most definitely, man. And you know how it is over here at Awthentik and The Beard. We got to get them biceps in the chat before we get up out of here one time. Left side.
Strong side.
And y'all know what it is, man. Awthentik and The Beard ain't nobody fans over here, man. Everybody is fam. So if you a new person and you want to continue to check out the content that we've been dropping here, definitely hit that subscribe button. Join the Awthentik and The Beard family one time. We got a bunch of big news coming up in the next couple of weeks here, man. We'll see y'all on Monday. Keep your eyes peeled for that content. We're going to have some different vibes for the content for Monday. Can't do the giant overreaction because we play on Monday night. Go Big Blue. Go get that W one time, man. Everybody, y'all be good, man. Live those dreams. Y'all know what it is. Peace.
Peace.